In 1797, a little girl was born in Hurley, New York, to parents who were slaves. She was given the name Isabella. The first 28 years of her life were spent in slavery. She suffered terrible abuse at the hands of several cruel masters until she could take it no more and escaped. One day, Isabella received a vision of Jesus, and she suddenly became acutely aware that God was everywhere and that he was calling her to do something, to speak out against the evils of slavery, to speak up for the rights of all. As a result of this religious awakening, Isabella changed her name to Sojourner Truth. Now, a sojourner is defined as someone who lives in a place only temporarily, a short-term visitor. She felt called by God to travel from place to place to spread God's message about slavery and injustice. She would sojourn to deliver the truth. That is just what she did. Sojourner Truth became an itinerant preacher. "The Spirit calls me, and I must go," she said. Though she had never learned to read or write, she knew many parts of the Bible by heart, and she preached the gospel of liberation, the liberation of slaves, and the liberation of women. For her, all God's children were equal, and she saw it as a calling from God to make that message known. She traveled thousands of miles delivering this message to large crowds and became known as one of the most outspoken and effective advocates for the rights of women and the emancipation of slaves. Her eloquence and passion, along with her singing, kept audiences mesmerized. Always on the move, sojourning here and sojourning there, Sojourner Truth was a force to be reckoned with. Following what she firmly believed to be her call from God, she met with several presidents, including Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses Grant, always pleading the cause of justice and equality. After the Civil War in 1865, she even dared to protest segregation in Washington, D.C. by riding a public streetcar reserved for white people. She was not afraid, as a woman and as a black person, to break all taboos. In those days, it was not considered acceptable for a woman to give speeches, but that never stopped Sojourner. Well into old age, she continued her sojourning crusade for human rights. At the Women's Rights Convention in 1851, she challenged the women of the world, saying, "If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again." Demanding that women be granted the right to vote, in 1872, along with Susan B. Anthony and hundreds of other women across the country, Sojourner Truth went to the polls and tried to vote, but was of course turned away. She was also the first African American woman to sue a white man and win. After her death in 1883, the New York Globe called her the only black woman to gain a national reputation on the lecture platform in the days before the Civil War. Her sojourn on earth lasted 84 years, though the inscription on her tombstone claims 105. Whatever the number, the sojourn was just that, a fruitful yet temporary stay on the journey home. Over 100 years later, in 1997, scientists at NASA took a revolutionary step. For the first time ever, they devised a small robot with wheels to go all the way to Mars and study its surface. The world watched in excitement as this amazing device landed on the red planet. During its brief sojourn on Mars, it was able to take and send home over 550 photographs of the planet and collect important information on the Martian soil and stones, wind and weather. Because of this, we now have a much better understanding of the planet. Before sending this robotic explorer to Mars, the scientists wanted to give it an appropriate name. So the Pasadena-based Planetary Society launched a year-long essay competition to name it. Over 3,500 entries were received from all over the world, including Canada, India, Israel, Japan, Mexico, Poland, Russia. In a Catholic school classroom in Bridgeport, Connecticut, the teacher gave an entry form to the 12-year-old daughter of Haitian immigrants, Valérie Ambroise. This extremely intelligent young lady wrote a brilliant essay in which she proposed to name the Mars rover after an important historical figure she had just been studying about, Sojourner Truth. So it was that the first rover to explore the surface of Mars became famous under the name Sojourner. It was seen as supremely fitting, for both the woman and the robot traveled, had a purpose, endured the harshest conditions, and changed the understanding of the world around them. 2,000 years before, someone else sojourned on planet Earth. His sojourn lasted 33 years, during which time he too moved about from place to place, for he too had a mission. When his sojourn was finished, he was taken up from the earth and returned to where he had come from. This dramatic event astounded those around him and sent a clear message to them and to people of every time. Where I am going, you will follow. You too are called to something higher. You too are but visitors on earth, sojourners on the journey home.